Welcome to the Monday Morning Wake Up Call with your host, Kerry Ramage, managing broker at RE/MAX Elite, and Heather Holliday, your social marketing nut, talking about hottest real estate topics with a little weekly activity and motivation for the week. Good morning and happy Monday.
Good morning. Good morning. I apologize for my lighting, etc., but I am in a hotel room, just finished up with National Association of Realtors Convention, which has been in Orlando all week. And as soon as I'm done with this, I'm checking out and heading home.
Yeah, I did. I think I just saw Mike's post and wrapping it up, and it was like, that was like 30 minutes ago. Does that mean you're still there?
Yes, I'm still here. I don't have anything today, but we weren't done till late last night, so I stayed the night. But since he is a national director, he's here. They have their meeting right now. So the final meeting of the week is this morning.
So that was that like a full week? Or I mean, it had to be weird because it kind of started right when you guys had a hurricane.
Right. So it's a full week. It sort of starts, the convention itself was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but Wednesday and Thursday are all the meetings, so, and there's other trainings.
Wednesday was the pre-hurricane. Thursday, I know, like, the office was closed, right?
So yes, and so and a lot of people's flights were closed because
because my mom my mom was down, drove my grandmother down, and she seems to do that, and there's always a hurricane, and they moved it from like September because the last time she did that, she got stuck with us.
Right.
For one of those, whatever, right. I think it was. And so she finally got to fly back. But
yeah, so I don't know how much attendance was lower than it should have been. They're saying it wasn't as shockingly lower than they expected. But it was good. It seemed like a good turnout. It was my first National Association of Realtors convention, and
because it's usually all over, and we always like FAR is always there. The Florida
Realtors is always in Orlando, but National changes from year to year to different cities. So like next year it's in Anaheim, and then I think it's in Boston after that. So it's not always in the same place. The last time I think it was in Florida was in 2016. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've got a lot of goodies, so we'll probably be incorporating those into our shows. And I'm sure even today's, all about getting listings in today's market. So I thought that was a lot of good stuff. Let's get started.
Yeah. So some ideas of getting listings in today's market, which is super tough. But the first thing, and it's funny, I've done this for several of my sellers, with not even thinking about that I was doing it as a trying to get listing thing, but I just tend to do it when we start to think about selling or while we're in the process, but set up an automated process for sending them comps or sales activity. So what I do a lot of times is, say you're in a specific neighborhood, Summit at Sawgrass, I set up an automatic search to go to them of what's happening in the Summit at Sawgrass so that they can see this is for sale, this has sold, this canceled, so they have the accurate facts of what's going on. But that's a great idea to just send in general. Maybe you call them and have a chat and then say, hey, are you interested in kind of seeing what goes on in your neighborhood on a consistent basis? And maybe you set it up to where they get that email once a week. But that's awesome.
I think even to go further and you have your sphere, all of your past clients, go through those that, bought 2+ years ago, and just, maybe send 1 a week, 5 a week, just to send them something that's more comparable, and letting them know if they have any questions to reach out, especially when, the market's in a different season or shifting or whatever anybody wants to call it. It is changing, and it's kind of to me, it's just kind of getting back to normal, which is, to me, it's a good thing. Looking to buy, I
Right.
wouldn't even consider it. I don't care so much about the interest rates or whatnot, but it's like, well, at least now we have a fighting chance of
Right.
even
Right.
bothering to look, and I don't want to deal with all that stress. So,
Right. So
I think,
kind of how you set up the, like, for a buyer, a listing cart, you kind of do the same thing for the neighborhood for the seller, and that way they can just keep their eye on what's happening. And then, like you say, now they have a better idea of knowing what's going on in the market, and should they sell now, are they going to get the price they're expecting?
right.
Yeah.
I think that's great. And then, I used to always I did mine quarterly. This one says monthly, but I would do a quarterly, almost like a jumbo postcard with everything going on in that subdivision. Same thing instead of just email, but I'm a visual. I
Right.
get 1,000 emails, so I probably won't open it, but maybe monthly, quarterly, sending something that shows all the activity, the
Right.
active
Right.
listings pending, bedroom, bath. It was just something I would always do. I kind of sent monthly postcards, but quarterly information about
Right.
actual sales and what was happening in my farming areas, I guess. So I
Right.
would pick three. I always tell agents kind of pick three different areas, stuff that you're comfortable with, maybe different price points, just to constantly stay in front of people that way as well. I like the jumbo postcards because you don't have to open it, but it's like a visual right in your face as soon as they take it out of the mailbox.
Right. Right, which is awesome. I like that too. And then do a CMA every 6 months, and you don't have to do all 100 people in your database, in January and then June. You stagger it and you do however many it is, 5 a week. And that way you're constantly doing 5 a week, but it's rotating, so you're sending them an actual CMA, which will give them a real idea of what they could sell it at, which
Yep.
is nice. You know, the other
And
is get your database built up, and get your database built up with people that own homes, your past buyers who are now owners that you've maybe met at open houses, past expired listing homeowners in your farm area that you communicate with. But you get your database filled up with people who own homes so that you can send them sales activity, a CMA, a postcard.
no, absolutely. I think that's super important. And not only that, I mean, putting in homeversaries, birthdays, it's so nice to even send a video email for someone's birthday, or when they actually, closed on the home, and ask questions. Did you do the kitchen? I would love to see it.
Yep.
You met with them, what plans they had for the home. Ask them about that. Ask to see the pictures. Ask to maybe come over for coffee and check it out because you'd love to see it. You know,
Yep.
that makes it more personal, and the fact that you remember. And if you have a CMA, I don't care if it's in Excel or not, make sure you're adding those notes so that it makes it a lot easier for you to be able to follow up with all of those. But I like having the birthdays and that information, and there's a lot of systems that'll automatically send those birthday videos or emails, and when they purchase a home. So
Yeah,
make
and
sure.
it's another touch to remind them that you're out there.
Yep. If they're a foodie or a whiny or whatever they want to call them, have all of that in your notes, because it gives you those extra opportunities for those touches, whether it's a personal note card, email, something that's more personal, a text, anything like that. So make sure when you are building up your database that you're filling in all of this information, which may take time, but it's completely worth it. It's, to me,
Right.
it's so much missed opportunities because of the time involved. But once you do it, it's super easy for the follow up with, as people close, you're going to be adding this information, and it's something to think about as you're working with people.
Right. Right. Another great idea is reach out, email to your database, or maybe do a Facebook, question. Um, are you planning to sell your home in 2022, which is not much left to 2022 or 2023? And have you had any thoughts of selling at these peak prices? Start that conversation, whether it be through an email, um, or a text or a phone call or a post on social, open that dialogue up, and maybe they are thinking about selling and you just didn't know.
Right. And because you don't know what you don't know, and if you don't ask, you don't get it.
Exactly. So you might as well just point blank ask, are you planning on selling? Can I send you a CMA? That would be a solicited CMA. In the previous step, we were talking about doing an unsolicited CMA. So one that you just do automatically. So you're constantly keeping them apprised of what's going on, twice a year. So another great idea is to adopt an agent database who's leaving the business. So there's many ways that you can do it. You can just buy the book of business up front. You can pay a referral fee for every person that you buy or sell from that person's database, whether it be in the next 5 years or forever, as long as that retiring agent still has a license. There's so many ways to do that. But as agents are retiring out of the business or aging out of the business or just don't like it anymore, find a way to adopt their database. What I found that works well is if that agent gives you the introduction or a periodic reminder, whether it's via postcard or an email blast, that they've retired, but that you are who they recommend.
And not only that, and so that goes right back to building that CMA, building that database, because it is a gold mine, not only for you as you're in the business, but as you begin retirement phase or something, you can sell that book of business just like what we're talking about. So that's another huge importance of why you should be building on that database, because that's a gold mine,
Right.
in the business, out of the business, as you're transitioning into that. So, it just blows my mind how many agents don't, like, that's not their number one. I mean, that is your gold mine. It's your book of business. It's
Right.
everything. And so many agents are like, no, I just kind of
wing
it. Just,
Yeah.
the phone rings, and it's like, but imagine, like, and as you make that transition, and a lot of agents, they'll come to me and like, well, this is what I have, like, this 3-year retirement plan. Like, what do I do? I'm like, what's your CMA look like? What is your database? What are you doing with it? Oh, I don't have anything.
Right.
I've been in business for 40 years. I haven't done anything. And I just,
Yeah, exactly. So
crazy.
that's something to think about. That's a way for us to get listings. But as you're kind of maybe you're getting ready to retire, you need to get your CRM up to date, and you need to be, hey, make some money off of all that hard work you've done and those relationships you've built. That by endorsing another agent who's either going to just pay for the book or pay you referral fee, or however you decide to work that out.
This next one, like doing Facebook, Instagram lives in front of like a sold sign. I know this has been said over and over and over. I know every Tom Ferry event we go to, this is, hi, I'm on Opalupa Drive, whatever. But but I can't remember, Banana Hannah Street, who knows? Let's see. But to be able to do those Facebook lives or just a quick video on anything is going to get a lot of visibility. You have the reels and stories and TikTok and everything else. Do something like that. Make sure it stands out.
Well, right. So we always say, we were like, stop with the just sold posts where it's just the picture of the house and just sold or whatever, and do something live. You're in front of the house with the sign, Kerry Remax Elite. I'm at 123 Main Street, or Oopa Loopa Drive, as Heather likes to say.
I can't remember what he uses, but it's always some weird.
We just closed on this property and it was blank percent of the listing price, 100% of the listing price, or 105% of the listing price, or 95% of the listing price. All of those are good numbers, But so, hi, Kerry Ramage, Remax Elite, standing in front of 123 Main Street. I just sold this home at 100% of the listing price. If you're asking me why, it's my marketing and negotiation skills. So give me a call if you're thinking about selling. That's like you said, if you're doing that video, people are going to stop and look because they want to hear what you have to say.
Yep. Nope, absolutely. You guys got to start taking advantage of the reach that these TikToks and Reels have, or even doing live. I like the live because then people can ask questions, and
right.
Just to me, it's like one of the tips, like if you're doing live, kind of start that, let people build up, because they're going to get notifications that you went
That
live.
you're live. Yeah.
Wait for them to show up, and then so many agents, I'll see them, they go live, they talk, and then they get out. So by the time I get the notification and click, it's already over.
Right.
So lost opportunities there. So kind of give it 20 seconds or whatever for everyone. Just get that notification, click on it. They want to know what you're doing, and then engage. Make sure when people are commenting or saying good morning or good afternoon, whatnot, that you're calling them out, and talking to them. That's what live is, where the power of lives are.
There's a lot of, so I follow a couple of gals who do Facebook Lives for this hair product company, Launch, which is who I have the thing that I blow dry my hair with from. And I, when I watch their videos, sometimes just because I'm silly and I like to get hair ideas, but they will be looking, down at the scroll below and who's giving a thumbs up and they're constantly like, oh, hey, Susie, thanks for tuning in.
Yes, that's super important. I mean, if you're not going to be able to do that, the live just seems silly. If you're not going to engage with the people that take the time, click on that notification and are watching you, engage with them. That's right. To me, that's the whole purpose of doing a live.
Right.
I seem to only do it when I've been drinking too much and I shouldn't be live.
Well, there's that. So let's not do that. Put your phone
that liquid courage, it gets me in trouble, but it's kind of funny. It's like, oh gosh, yeah, right. Everybody's on here. Okay, no, nope. Yeah, I did that a couple times. But
so there's also seller attraction sites. So different sites like HomeLight or UpNest or UpCity, where you only pay the referral fee if you close the transaction. So you'll get you sign up, they'll send you leads as they come into them, and then if you get the listing and transaction,
sorry,
that's okay. Then you pay a referral fee, so you're not paying any fees up front. So then you have a chance to test it out to see how good it really is, that referral, seller attraction site.
And even if you have like a seller landing page or anything to be able to attract, and it's almost like kind of like a lead gen, just the seller landing page, enter that. My biggest thing is if you're going to do something like that and even pay to attract people over there, make sure you have some sort of follow-up system, just like any pay-per-click. It drives me crazy. Like, well, I get these leads, but nothing ever comes with them. And my first question is, well, what's your follow-up plan?
Right.
Are they on some sort of video drip, or, what are you doing? I know for us, that's why we have postcards that we send out. We don't always get all the information. People put in their addresses. They're curious, but we send out a postcard immediately. Some, will knock on the door or whatnot. But the big thing is to have some sort of follow-up plan. If you're doing any pay-per-click, or if you're trying to get those leads for those sellers, have a game plan. It's like you almost have to work backwards,
right?
To the, so that you have all this information that they're going to be put on, and then you create the landing page, and then you have the follow through. It's one of my biggest pet peeves, because, agents spend all this money because they want all this, but they don't have the follow-up plan.
Follow-up to, right.
Yeah. And that's just any pay-per-click, anything like that. That's why I think it's important when you're looking at a website, if you are looking to have any sort of pay-per-click, that you have, at least like our system has, that artificial intelligence behavior. So it depends on what they're doing, will depend on what responses they're going to automatically get, and the texts and the emails and all of that. To me, it's important, if you're going to spend any sort of money, at least have a system that kind of has something like that built in, so you're not sitting in front of the computer all day long, or you hire an inside sales agent that they're getting some sort of kickback for any closing.
Right.
They're actually working those leads, whatever it may be. But to me, it's like you're just kind of throwing money at the wind and praying, I guess, or it's on a wish, if you don't have some sort of a system to work this leads, work that database. If you're doing any sort of trying to gather up all these online leads.
Exactly. Here's another one. And we got, several 55 plus communities. And this would kind of be, you'd be maybe getting people to move from their big house into maybe a 55 plus, but create a seminar for seniors called Big to Small House, where you're helping with the transition from them selling their large home and moving into something a little bit smaller, something maybe that's maintenance free. So you can create a seminar with some of your referral partners, whether it's a mortgage company or an insurance company or a title company, and then do a mailing campaign or create a landing page, run ads on Facebook, and then you can get them to come to your seminar to kind of work through the process of downsizing. And it's funny, I have a really good friend. She's 68. Is also an agent. She doesn't really want to move from her house now, but knows, because she's seen it so many times with older people, like, the taking care of the pool and the taking care of the lawn and the, oh my gosh, it needs a new roof. It's a lot. And so she said, you know what, I'd rather do it now where I'm still able to do the move easily than waiting until much later. So if you can create a seminar kind of helping people understand the downsize, you can get listings out of that. Well, you'll get a listing and a buyer.
And they even have designations to help you with understanding the process. I know a lot of agents they may not do seminars, but their newsletters are targeting their areas that they serve, which are all, 55 plus. And that's the information, the different events and different, avenues of, really being informative and knowing the communities for the, kind of empty nesters and retirement areas, and just all of, the different events and what each community has to offer. And, maybe go visit those yourself if that's, it's really a good niche that people can really utilize. And, being in Florida, that's super easy because they're
right
everywhere. But it's just, I guess any place that you want to, focus on is really being informed and knowing what's going on for those different communities and stuff like that.
Right. So, and then another one is use Instagram story polls to engage clients. So,
do you even know what that is?
No, I have no idea. I kind of have an idea. I've seen stuff. I've seen other people do them and I've answered. So yeah, I kind of know.
Yep. And that's super easy. So when you're kind of in, I guess, like your elements or where you can add the smiley faces or text, one of those, the options are questions. You can ask people for photos. You can ask questions, yes or no. It helps with that engagement. It ends up creating like a private message to you as they're answering that. So ask these different questions. It actually opens, the messenger. So it opens up that dialogue and that conversation with the people that are answering those questions. So it's super easy way to be able to use these different options that, Instagram has to make those posts engaging. And it opens up that conversation. So make sure to check those out.
So, yeah, you're asking, like, are you living in your dream home? Have you had any thoughts of selling your home in 2022, 23? And then depending on how they answer, you respond to them and, start a conversation.
Yep. Nope. Those are some awesome, great ideas. And I think there's one or two that you're probably not doing that maybe you can implement into your business and, making it one of those 10 pillars to do consistently, especially like those CMAs, and really amping up that database that you have and stuff like that. And, the social aspect, there's a lot of different ideas on here to get that engagement and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what's our weekly activity?
So set up a search of your 3 farming areas. This is super easy. You're going to set up an auto search in your MLS of your farming areas, just showing what's active, what's contingent, what's closed. And then so that way you're able to keep up with the activity in those neighborhoods. If you work those neighborhoods a lot, you want to make sure you have that information in your brain so that when you run into the neighbor at Publix, say, you already can say, hey, did you see, ABC Street, so-and-so, Susie's selling their house, and then usually people have the wrong information. So you'll already have that information because you've been watching it weekly.
Absolutely. And then your words of wisdom, this was deep. But since we're kind of in the middle of the battle of the seasons between winter and ending of fall, if you stay stuck in the past season or stay fixated on a future season, you'll miss the one you're in. And I thought with the way the market's changing and people using it shifting, or we're in a new market season. I thought that was a pretty good one. So don't
Right.
stay stuck in what we've been in the last couple years. Don't think about, the future, whatever it holds. Where are we at right now? Start
Right.
implementing some of these, because you always want to be in the moment and in the now of what's
Right.
going on. There's no crystal ball. We don't know what's happening in the future. We just need to make sure that we're set up for success right now in this moment.
Exactly. Exactly. Awesome.
Yeah. So we've got some great couple more shows. Gosh, I can't believe.
The year's almost
Oh
over.
my
I
gosh.
know.
Yeah, because next
Crazy.
week is Thanksgiving. Oh my gosh.
I know.
So we've got a couple more episodes, and then of course we do our top 10 and then December. And I'm working with Facebook to stop getting out of Facebook jail, because I don't, apparently they think I'm some hacker. I don't even know, but trying to get Facebook support is pretty much non-existent. Had great chats with them, but nothing's happened. So still in
Gotcha.
kind of Facebook jail.
Okay.
So hopefully that'll
Hopefully
be
by
fixed.
next week you'll be out.
I send them messages every single day. Quite interesting on what's going on. But let's see. And Janine, thank you for joining on YouTube, since that's the only platform I seem to be able to stream to at the moment. But until next week, wake up, kick ass, and repeat. And I hope to see you on Facebook Lives next week.
Awesome.
Bye, everyone.